And when you're ready, we will start in a child's pose. If you would like to keep a prop or a pillow nearby, it might come in handy. In this child's pose, you can bring your prop on an angle in between the thighs so it can support your torso and head. Just an option here. Let yourself feel supported and let the shape be filled with ease. Just fully surrendering into this shape. You can cross the forearms or extend the fingertips all the way forward. And start out just by becoming aware of the external, noticing sounds, maybe the textures of clothing or of the surfaces you're lying on, noticing the temperature of the air. And then check in, become aware of the internal, any areas of tension, either physical or not, maybe thoughts that are gathering and lingering. And then bring that internal awareness to the breath. Where is it traveling on its own? What is the quality of your breath? Now on the next exhale, press the air out of the body, fully empty the torso. Inhale almost as a reflex through the nose, let it fill the chest and the upper back. Hold at the top, feel expanded. Open mouth, exhale like you're fogging up a mirror, press the air out. Inhale like a reflex through the nose, let it expand the ribs, mid-back, chest, and upper back. Open mouth, exhale, press it out. Next, inhale, let it fill the belly, low back, ribs, chest, maybe an extra sip at the top for the throat. And open mouth, exhale, release this big breath. Stay with this pattern of breath, filling the whole torso from bottom to top. And when you're ready, you can seal the lips, let the exhales come through the nose, cultivating some heat from within, and slightly altering that internal state, the internal temperature. Good. Find one more breath in this child's pose. Know this shape is always here for you at any point throughout class. Good. If you have a torso support with a prop or a pillow, move that to the side. We'll extend the fingertips all the way forward, snuggling the chest a little further down between the thighs. Maybe wiggle through the tail, reach the hips further back towards the heels. And crawl the fingertips forward so much that you come up onto spider fingers. The forearms and elbows might float. The palms will reach off the floor. Take a big breath into the space between your shoulders. Exhale, walk your fingertips over to the left. Plug the right hip down towards the right heel. Open up the space on the right side body. Breathing to the outside of the shoulder, filling up the spaces between the right ribs. Almost as if you were inflating just your right lung. Good. Inhale, walk the fingertips back through center. Those spider fingers, find some length in the spine. And then exhale, walk them over to the right. Plug the left hip down towards the left heel. Find some opening on this left side body around the shoulder and ribs. Fill up that left lung. Release tension in the neck. Good. Inhale, walk the fingertips through center. We'll draw the palms to touch, bend at the elbows and let the base of the thumbs reach towards the base of the neck, where you can pat yourself on the upper back. Maybe you take a couple scooches forward with the elbows so you really lengthen out the triceps and the muscles on the outsides of the armpit. Breathe into the lats and the intercostals. Good. Inhale, walk the fingertips forward. And we'll press up to a tabletop, finding all fours here. Stack shoulders over wrists, spread the fingertips wide. And the hips stack over the knees, toes are untucked. Take a moment to press down through your thumb and forefinger. Send the inside creases of the elbows forward and wrap the shoulder blades around the upper back. Knit close the front ribs and send the tailbone away from the crown of the head. Gaze a few inches in front of the fingertips to maintain length in the neck. As you inhale, drop the belly down, reach the head and hips up for cow pose. Exhale, cat pose, press through the palms, dome up the upper back, gaze up the belly button. Cycle through this with your breath. Inhale for cow, exhale for cat. Really exaggerate the breath, let it guide your movement. And add any extras that serve you, maybe coming up onto fist to alleviate the wrist. You can flip the fingertips to face the knees, stretching out the forearms. Maybe drawing circles in opposite directions with the head and hips. Try some things on for size. Take what serves you. Leave behind what doesn't. Focusing here on syncing movement with breath. Find a couple more rounds, even out anything you need to. And we'll meet in stillness and neutral tabletop. From our tabletop, on an inhale, send the right leg long behind you, tuck the toes under, find a nice calf stretch, rock forward and back on the ball of the right foot, hang out anywhere that needs a little extra attention. Good, on your next inhale, reach the right leg up to hip height and pause here, flex through the foot, take the bend out of the low back by reaching the belly button in towards the spine. And as if you were making a footprint on the back wall, reach the heel away from the hip. Inhale, lengthen from the crown of the head to your heel. Exhale, draw the knee in towards your chest, press through the palms, find a bit of cat in the upper back. Good, 4 more with your breath. Inhale, kick through the right heel. Exhale, knee towards your chest. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw in. Twice more, use your breath as your pacer. Inhale. Exhale, draw in, lift from that hip flexor. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, draw in. Good, inhale, reach long. And we'll lower down back to tabletop. Take a cat and cow, reset the spine. And we'll find that on the second side. Your next inhale sends the left leg long behind you. Tuck the toes under, rock forward and back on the ball of the left foot. Notice any difference between the two sides. On the next inhale, reach the left leg up to hip height and pause, square off the hips here, flex through the left foot, and draw the belly button in towards the spine, protect the lower back. Inhale for length. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the chest, press through the palms. Good, inhale, reach back. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, draw into strengthen once more. Inhale, reach, use the breath. Exhale, press the air out. Good, inhale, reach long. And exhale, lower down to tabletop. Take a cat and cow, rinse it out. Find the breath once again. Good, we'll plant through the left palm and bring the right fingertips behind the right ear. Open up the chest, getting into that middle and upper back. Inhale, paint a line on the ceiling with the right elbow. Exhale, draw the elbow towards your wrist. Rotate through that mid-back. Try to keep your sacrum parallel to the floor. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, close it off, elbow to your wrist. Inhale, open up. Use the breath to close off. Good, this time open the chest. Reach the fingertips all the way up. Exhale, thread the needle, right wrist behind your left, right ear and right shoulder ground towards the floor. Left fingertips can stay back down by the nose. They can reach up and overhead or wrap around the lower back towards the back right pocket. Press into the outside of the right arm, peel back through the left shoulder and chest. Notice where your breath is. Almost squeezing the shoulder blades together to find a little more length across the chest. Good. Draw the left palm down by your nose. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, close it off. Take some wrist rolls on the way down. Good. Second side here. Inhale, plant through the right palm. Reach the left fingertips behind the left ear. Paint a line with the left elbow on the ceiling. Exhale, elbow towards your right wrist. Rotate through that mid-back. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, close it off. Try not to dump into that right shoulder. Really press through the pads of the fingers. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, elbow to your wrist. Good. This time, peel it all the way open. Left fingertips reach up. Exhale, thread the needle. Left wrist behind the right, left ear and left shoulder ground. Same options with the right hand by the nose, up and overhead or around towards the back left pocket. Try to keep the hips at the center from reaching over to the right. Firm up the outside of the right arm or the left arm to press into the floor and open up the chest. Notice where your breath is. Good. Reach the right palm down by the nose. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, close it off. Take some wrist rolls on the way down. Good. Walk the hands about a handprint twist forward. Inhale to tuck the toes. Exhale, hips up and back for your downward facing dog. Let it be full of movement. Pedal out the heels. Take it for a walk. Maybe gaze underneath either shoulder or swivel on the balls of the feet, dropping the hips to either side. You can come up high on the toes and then sink back towards the heels. Wiggle out your tail. Really take what you need here to make this shape a little more familiar. And we'll find stillness and clean it up a little bit. Spread the fingertips wide. Press firmly through the pads of the fingers, almost suction cupping the mat with your palms. Spin those inside creases of the elbows forward and wrap the shoulder blades around the upper back. Take a bend to the knees, press the chest back towards the thighs, maybe wiggle your tail to find a little more length in the lower back. And it's okay if there's distance between the heels and the floor, always focus on a long spine. Take an inhale, seal in this shape. Open mouth, exhale, press the air out. Good, inhale, gaze forward at the hands. Exhale, ragdoll pose, feet tiptoe towards the top of the mat, hips width distance or wider. Grab for opposite elbows and drape the torso over the legs. Bend the knees as much as you need to let the torso rest on the thighs. Shake the head no and yes, release any tension in the neck. And explore rocking the weight more towards the toes and then back towards the heels, opening up the backs of the legs. Let the belly inflate and collapse against the thighs. Melt the fingertips down towards the floor, heel toe the feet to hips width distance. Keep a bend in the knees, tuck the chin to the chest, and gently roll up one vertebrae at a time. Let the head come up last. Once you land at the top, find a couple shoulder rolls. Eyes can be softened or closed here. We'll draw the palms to heart center or place palm over heart. Take a moment of stillness here with yourself, maybe taking inventory of the internal and external. Use this moment to set an intention for the rest of your practice and maybe as a check-in for the rest of your day. If one doesn't come to mind, I invite you to join me in the intention of patience, staying with each pose in each moment and taking that practice off of our mat. Inhale to seal in your intention. Big exhale to release any expectation. Good. Flutter the eyes open, draw the palms down by your sides. Mountain pose, root firmly through the soles of the feet. You could bring some slack into the knees to reach the tailbone down and the hip points up towards the low ribs. Broaden the chest, reach the shoulder blades back and down, and lift the chin for a slightly taller gaze. We're going to inhale, find tall mountain, fingertips reach forward and up, biceps frame the ears. Exhale, baby back bend, cactus the elbows, spin the pinkies in and reach the chest towards the ceiling. Good. Inhale, back to tall mountain. Exhale, standing forward fold, hinge from the hips, draw the palms through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine and pause here. Draw fingertips to the shins or thighs, close off the front ribs, shoot the tailbone behind you. Take an inhale. Exhale, we'll step the left foot back, finding a low lunge on the right. Widen out your base here, give each hand and foot their own lane. We'll come up high into those spider fingers on either side of the right foot. Inhale, kick through the back left heel. Exhale, lower the left knee to a hover, getting some length on the front of the left quad. We'll take this twice more. Inhale to lift the left knee. Exhale, lower to a hover, adding some tension into this left thigh. Once more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower all the way down. You can keep the toes tucked for a little extra stretch or untuck them, pressing the top of the foot into the floor. Inhale, frame the biceps frame the ears with the biceps. Low crescent lunge. Close off the front ribs, reach the tailbone down, almost press the hips forward. Pull back slightly through the right hip crease. Inhale, grow tall through the fingertips. Exhale, find that same baby back bend. Press the hips forward a bit more, lift the chest. Good. Inhale, reach the fingertips tall. Exhale, frame the front foot. We'll tuck the back toes, step back to a high plank, and pause here in the top of a push-up. Good. We'll ground the knees and untuck the toes, modified plank. Inhale, press through the palms. Exhale, lower all the way down with control, elbows hug in. Inhale, lift the chest and palms, baby cobra. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the chin slightly. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, tabletop, all fours, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back, starting to build up our flows. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, press the air out. Inhale here, let it feel good. Exhale to release. Good. Inhale, seal the lips. Re-engage that textured breath. Exhale out through the nose. Inhale, gaze forward at the hands. Exhale, forward fold, travel to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse up to tall mountain, circle the arms around and up, biceps frame the ears. Exhale, baby back bend, cactus the arms, press the hips forward. Move with the breath, inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, release over the legs, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, low lunge on the left, slide the right toes back. Find your wide stance here. Come up high into spider fingers. Inhale, lengthen out through the back right heel. Exhale, lower the right knee to a hover. Reach the tailbone back. Inhale, lift, straighten out the right leg. Exhale, lower the right knee to a hover. Lengthen out the right quad. Once more. Inhale, lift. Exhale to lower. Good. Inhale, lift, lengthen that back leg. Exhale, lower and land all the way. Toes can stay tucked or untucked. Inhale, biceps frame the ears, press the hips forward. Exhale for that baby back bend, reach the chest up. Inhale, low crescent lunge. Exhale, frame the front foot, step the left toes back to a high plank. Knees can stay lifted this time. Inhale, press through the palms, find a bit of cat in the upper back. Exhale, lower all the way down, hug the elbows in with control. Untuck the toes, keep the palms planted next to the ribs. Inhale, cobra pose. Slight bend in the elbows, snap them in towards your sides. Exhale, lower all the way down. Tuck the toes, inhale, either high plank or tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back. 3 breaths here. Inhale. Open mouth, exhale, find the breath. Inhale. Exhale 2, slow it down. Inhale, feel the lips. Exhale 3 through the nose. Good. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, travel to the top. Good. We'll add on a layer here. Heel toe the big toes and heels to touch, one long and strong limb beneath you. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we'll sit down and back for chair pose. Hips reach down and back, more weight towards the heels. Maybe wiggle the toes. Gaze over the cliff of the knees, find some more weight in the heels. Widen the arms as much as you need to find some smooth breath through the chest. Good, inhale here. Exhale, release over the legs, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, back to low lunge on the right, slide the left toes back. Good, inhale, lengthen through the back leg. Exhale, we'll lower the back knee all the way down, untuck the toes. Let's send the hips back for a hamstring stretch. This is a great place for a prop, maybe behind the right heel, if you want to give yourself a little bit more height here. Or you can bring two props on either side of the right foot. We'll press into the fingertips. Inhale, reach the chin and chest forward. Find a little more length in the spine. Exhale, nose towards the toes, just like a halfway lift in a forward fold. The knees or the toes can stay grounded, or they can reach up towards the face for a little more calf stretch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Use the breath. Inhale, one more. Exhale, lower down. Good. We'll rebend the front knee, come back to our low lunge, and we'll angle out the back shin about 45 degrees. Rise up the arms so we're in a floor warrior two. The hips are angled towards the front left corner of the mat. Press firmly into the top of the back foot. Get a little more length on the front of the left hip flexor. Arms are parallel to the length of the mat. Shrug the shoulders back and down. On an inhale, find a reverse grounded warrior two. Left palm comes to the back of the left thigh or wraps around the low back. Press the hips a little more forward. High five the wall behind you. Inhale, rise up for your floor warrior two. Exhale, we'll frame the front foot. Step the right toes back to a high plank and pause here in the top of a push-up. Inhale, press through the palms. Exhale, option to lower halfway down for chaturanga, elbows hugging towards the ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog. Flip to the tops of the feet, lift the chin. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips reach up and back. 3 breaths here. Inhale. Full exhale. Inhale. Come back to the breath. Slow it down. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Good. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. We'll even it out. Big toes and heels touching. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, sit down and back. And pause here, draw more weight into the heels, maybe wiggle the toes. Check in with the breath, widen the arms as much as you need to. Magnetize the inner thighs towards one another, bring everything towards the midline. Take an inhale here. Exhale, let it go over the legs, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge on the left. Slide the right toes back behind you. Widen out your base. Inhale, lengthen the back leg. Exhale, lower the back knee all the way down, untuck the toes. Inhale, send the hips back for a hamstring stretch. You can use a prop behind the left heel or on either side of the left foot. Toes can be grounded or lifted. 3 breaths. Inhale, ease out of the fold slightly. Exhale, nose towards the toes, opening up the back of the left leg. Twice more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, lower. Good. Rebend the front knee. And we'll angle out the back shin about 45 degrees so the hips are open towards the front right corner of the mat. Inhale, rise up for a floor warrior two. Front knee stacks over the front ankle. Shrug the shoulders back and down. Arms are parallel with the length of the mat. Flip the front palm up. Inhale for your grounded reverse warrior. Right palm to the back thigh or around the low back towards the back left pocket. Reach the hips forward. Open up this left side. Press into the top of the back foot. Open up the right quad a little bit. Good. Inhale for your floor warrior two. Exhale, frame the front foot. Step the left toes back into your high plank. Knees can be up or down. Inhale, press through the palms. Exhale, take your road to down dog. Choose one of the 3 back bends. Inhale to open up the chest. And exhale, downward facing dog. Awesome. 3 breaths here. Tune back into your intention. Take a check-in with the internal state. One more breath here. On an inhale, gaze forward at the hands. Exhale, forward fold, travel to the top. Let's add on another layer. Big toes and heels touching. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, chair pose, sit low, reach high. Exhale, chair with airplane arms, hinge the chest forward, reach the fingertips back. Pause here, magnetize the pinkies towards one another, broaden across the chest, engage the space between the shoulder blades. Good, inhale back to chair pose. Exhale, draw the palms down to heart center. Inhale, puff up the chest. Exhale, prayer twist to the left. So the right elbow will hook to the outside of the left thigh. And pressing this right side first. Gaze down at the knees, make sure the right knee is in line with the left. Press into the palms. Draw the thumbs in line with the sternum. Let the inhales travel into the chest and the exhales deepen the twist. Good, inhale returns us back to chair pose. Exhale, fold over the legs, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, low lunge on the right. Step the left toes back. The back knee will stay lifted this time. Inhale, high crescent lunge, biceps rise to frame the ears. Good, settle in here. Bring a slight bend to the back knee. Give the hips some room to stack underneath the shoulders. Widen the arms as much as you need to. Find some room in the chest. On an inhale, grow tall on both sides of the waist. Exhale for a baby back bend. Engage the inner thighs to keep yourself stable. Draw the gaze towards the ceiling, challenging the balance. Good. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms. Hinge the chest forward, reach the fingertips back. We'll use the breath here to spiral open to a warrior two. Inhale, warrior two, open up the stance. Feel the back heel down, about 45 degrees. And find that same angle in the hips. Hips open to the front left corner of the mat. Strike the shoulders back and down. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, extended side angle, right forearm to the right inner thigh. Left fingertips reach up and over. Palm faces down. Press into the bottom forearm for some more leverage to rotate the chest towards the ceiling. Feel down the outer edge of the back foot. Lift the inner arch. Firm up on the back kneecap. Maybe get a little more length on the front of the left hip flexor. Inhale, rise up for your warrior two. Flip the front palm, freeze the bottom half. Exhale, reverse warrior. Left fingertips to the back thigh or around the low back. Maintain the front knee bend. Breathe into the right side ribs. Good. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. We'll straighten out the front knee, setting up for triangle pose. Maybe shorten the stance slightly. Inhale, knock the hips back, reach the fingertips forward. Exhale, triangle pose, arms to 6 and 12, right fingertips to the top of the right foot or shin. Keep a micro bend in the front knee. Spiral the chest open towards the ceiling. Think about having as much length on the bottom ribs as you have naturally on the top. You can use the left fingertips as a self-adjust to rotate the torso a little bit more. Imagine spreading peanut butter along those left side ribs. Good. Find one more breath in here. Stay for an exhale. Where can you open up a little more? Good. Let's rebound the front knee. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. Exhale, we'll frame the front foot and pause in a low lunge. Come up onto those spider fingers once again. Widen out your stance so each foot and hand have their own lane. We'll kick off the back toes, finding a supportive warrior three. And again, a great place for a prop underneath the fingertips. Kick through the back heel, square off the hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, curl the left knee in towards the nose. Round out the upper back, press through the fingertips. Good, two more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the nose. Once more, inhale, kick back. Exhale, knee to nose. Good, inhale, kick back. Exhale, we'll step the left foot right next to the right and pedal out the heels in a forward fold here. Find your breath. Shake the head no and yes, find some softness. Maybe flutter out the lips on an exhale, release some heat. Good. Let's take that to the second side. Draw the big toes and heels to touch. Inhale for your halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, sit low and reach high. Settle in here, draw the inner thighs towards one another. Take a breath in. Exhale, chair with airplane arms. Reach the pinkies towards one another. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, back to chair pose. Exhale, palms come to heart center, sit a little bit lower. Inhale to puff up the chest. Exhale, prayer twist to the right. So the left elbow will hook on the outside of the right thigh, this time compressing the left side. Press the palms in towards one another. Gaze down at the left knee, draw it in line with the right. And keep the thumbs in line with the sternum. Notice how the breath travels differently. Take another breath in. And exhale, forward fold over the legs. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge on the left. So the right toe step back. Keep the back knee lifted. Widen out the base. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Take a moment to settle in. Slight bend in the back knee. Let the chest be nice and tall. Widen the arms as much as you need to. Inhale, lengthen through the sides of the waist. Exhale, find that baby back bend. Magnetize the inner thighs towards one another. Reach the gaze up. Challenge the balance. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms. Magnetize the pinkies towards one another. As we inhale, burst open for your warrior two. Ride the breath to this next shape. Settle in, maybe heel toe the left foot over to the right. Hips are open to the front right of the mat. Find your breath, shrug the shoulders back and down. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, extended side angle. Left forearm grounds, right fingertips reach up and over, palm face down. Press into the left forearm, use it as leverage to rotate the torso towards the ceiling. Firm up the back kneecap, maybe press the right hip crease a little more towards the right, giving you some more space to open the chest. Good, freeze the bottom half where it is. Inhale, warrior two, flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse warrior, right fingertips towards the back thigh or around the low back. Pressing down through the front heel and big toe mound, feeling the left glute and hamstring do the work here. Good, inhale, rise up for your warrior two. Straighten out the front knee, heel toe the back foot in slightly for triangle pose. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, triangle pose, fingertips reach up and down. Left forearm grounds, or left fingertips ground on the left shin or the top of the foot. Bring a micro bend into that left knee. Get as much length on those bottom left ribs as you have on the top. You can use those right fingertips for that self-adjust, painting the right ribs open. Notice where the breath is. Good, we'll rebend the left knee. Inhale, rise up for your warrior two. Exhale, frame the front foot and pause in your low lunge. Widen it out here so you have a wider base. Come up high into those spider fingers and inhale, kick off the back toes for your supported warrior three. Level off the sacrum, parallel to the mat, flex through the right foot. Inhale, kick through the heel. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the nose. Find a bit of cat in the upper back. Twice more, inhale, kick it back. Exhale, draw and think of lifting from the navel. Once more, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, draw it in. Awesome, inhale, kick back. Exhale, right foot steps next to the left. Forward fold, shake it out. Pedal at the heels, shake the head, knowing yes. Maybe flutter out the lips, release some heat. And about 3 more breaths here. You can find a ragdoll pose. There's another cooling posture that feels good. Maybe bringing peace fingers around the big toes, letting the elbows come out wide, finding some slack in the knees. Any posture where the head is below the heart is a cooling shape. Good, let's unhook the fingertips, come back to your forward fold. Heel toe your feet to hips width distance. Keep a slight bend to the knees. Tuck the chin to the chest and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Good. We'll set up for some balancing here. We'll be going into dancer's pose. So start by holding a tray out to your right side, palm face up. Bring your weight into the left foot and bend the right knee so you catch the inside big toe side of the right foot. Notice if the hips are opening towards the right, try to square them off with the mat, draw the knees in towards one another, and lift the gaze. Good, left fingertips reach tall towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. Exhale, kick the foot into the hand and use the torso leaning forward as a counterweight for the back leg. Magnetize the inner thighs towards one another. Find a gaze, a place to fix your gaze on, a drishti, maybe a point that's not moving. Press down through the left big toe mound. Find a bit of upward dog in the chest. Take one more inhale. Stay for your exhale. Good, rise out of it the way you came in, taking your time. Exhale to lower down and shake it out. Good, second side. Hold the tray on your left, palm faces up. Steady your gaze, draw the weight into the right foot. Bend the left knee, catch the inside of the left foot. Draw the knees in towards one another, square off the hips to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach the right fingertips tall. Exhale, dancer's pose, kick the top of the foot into the left hand. Use the torso hinging forward as a counterweight for the back leg. Good, find some opening in the front of the left shoulder. Ground down through the standing big toe mound. Try not to let that inner arch collapse. Take another full round of breath here. Everything pulls in towards the midline. Inhale to rise up slowly with control. And exhale, shake it out. Nice job. Good, we'll bring the hands to the hips, feet hips width distance. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Reach the right leg up to hip height and pause here. Reach the tailbone down, hip points up towards the low ribs, so shorten that space. 90 degrees at hip, knee, and ankle. Take an inhale. Exhale, we'll find a figure four chair. Right ankle crosses over the left thigh. Keep both feet flexed here. Sit the hips back. Palms can come to heart center. They can reach out in front of you. The similar counterweight that we had in dancer's pose. Focusing on opening up the outside of the right hip. Find your breath. Good. Press down through the standing sole of the foot. Inhale, rise back up to your one-legged mountain. And exhale, come back to standing. Good. Final standing balance here. Inhale, one-legged mountain on the left. Left knee comes up to hip height. Pause here. Find your focal point. Flexing through your left foot. 3 90-degree angles. Take an inhale. Exhale, cross the left ankle over the right thigh and sit back into your figure four chair. Take the bend out of the lower back. Let your palms go wherever feels helpful in your shape. Good. Press down through the right sole of the foot. Inhale back up to your one-legged mountain. And exhale, lower down. Nice work. Shake it out here. Inhale, tall mountain. Fingertips reach forward and up. Exhale, baby back bend. Lift the chest, press the hips forward. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, standing forward fold, hinge from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, we'll step the left foot back, coming back to a low lunge on the right. This time we'll bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot, finding a lizard lunge where I'm at reads hand, hand, foot. We'll take about 4 to 5 breaths here, so there's lots of options. You can stay right here on the palms and the back toes, or you can ground the back knee and maybe explore lowering to forearms or using a prop to find a middle ground. Wherever you go, keep the right knee hugging in towards the right shoulder. Getting nice and deep into the hips here. And 2 to 3 more breaths. Taking inventory of where you still have tension and seeing if you can release. What tension doesn't serve you here, maybe in the jaw or in between the eyebrows. Good. We'll press back up to that starting shape onto palms and the back toes. And we'll find a lizard down dog variation, walking the hands a bit more forward. Maybe they reach off the front edge of the mat. Keep the right knee hugging in towards the right ribs and reach the hips back slightly. So you find up or downward dog in the upper body and lizard in the lower body. It's a nice little hybrid shape here. Really focusing on the lower back and the outside of the right hip. Good. Walk the hands back in on the instep of the right foot. We'll lean our weight over to the left so we can step the right foot back to a downward dog. Pedal out the heels here, shake the head, knowing yes. Inhale, reach the right leg up to hip height, three-legged dog. We'll bend through the right knee and open up the hip, reach the right heel towards the left glute. Feel free to square off the shoulders here and press the chest back towards the left leg. Good. Inhale, square off the hips, lengthen the right leg long. Exhale, half pigeon on the right. Draw the right knee towards the right wrist crease. Settle in, lengthen the left toes behind you. You can take this whole shape on your back in a supine figure 4, similar to our figure 4 chair, opening up the outside of the right hip. You can also support your hips here with a block or a prop. Before you lower down, come up high onto fingertips, just like a halfway lift, first lengthening the spine, and allow your torso to lower down, meeting your expression of the pose. If you want to add another layer, finding a thread the needle variation, you can reach the left wrist underneath the right forearm, lowering onto the left shoulder. I like to bring a prop underneath my head in this shape, just so it doesn't lower below the level of my shoulder. And the right hand can wrap around the low back, eventually finding the left toes. Find your breath here. About 3 more rounds. Letting each inhale create space, and each exhale move into that space. Good, let's unravel, meeting back up, pressing onto the palms. If you're on your back, slowly rock and roll through to a downward dog. If you're upright, tuck the back toes, step the right foot back, and find your downward facing dog. Pedal at the heels here, maybe take some movement in the hip and knee, just bringing some life back into this right side. And practice your intention here of patience. Take a moment to appreciate and celebrate the difference between the two sides. Trying not to rush to even it out. Good. As you inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, tiptoe forward to meet your hands. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, low lunge on the left. Slide the right toes back. We'll set up our lizard lunge. Bring the left hand to the inside of the left foot and set up your shape. You can stay up on the palms and the back toes or lower down the back knee, maybe drop to forearms or use props to find a middle ground. Wherever you go, hug the knee in towards the left shoulder, press down through the left big toe mound. Release any undue tension. Take inventory of where you're still holding on. Got 2 more rounds on this side. Imagining a sandbag across the low back, just supporting and assisting gravity into finding more depth. Good. Wherever you are, we'll press back into that starting shape, coming up onto palms and the back toes. And we'll walk the hands forward, finding that lizard downward dog variation, reaching the hips back, Finding downward dog in the upper body and lizard in the lower body. Keep the left knee hugging in towards the left rib. Press the chest back towards the right toes. Think of finding as much distance between the tailbone and the fingertips as you can. Good. We'll come back to our lizard lunge. Lean the weight over to the right to step the left foot back to a downward facing dog. On an inhale, kick the left heel high. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip, reach the heel towards the right glute. Square off the shoulders, press the chest back towards the right thigh. Inhale, square off the hips, lengthen the left leg. Exhale, half pigeon on the left. Draw the left knee towards the left wrist crease. Same variations. You can take this on your back or support with a prop. Inhale to find length wherever you are. And exhale to lower down. If you find that thread the needle variation on this side, thread the right forearm underneath the left. Maybe support this right ear and the side of the head with a prop. You can wrap the left arm around the lower back, eventually finding the left toes. Find 4 more rounds here. With the inhales, bring in space, and the exhales, move into that space. Good. Slowly start to unravel. Again, if you're on your back, with ease, rock and roll through all the way to downward dog. We'll press up onto palms, tuck the back toes, and step the left foot back to downward dog. Bring some life back into this left side. Maybe pedal out the heels or circle through the knee and hip. On an inhale, we'll ripple forward to a high plank. Really exaggerate the movement here, like a wave moving through the spine. Eventually stacking the shoulders over the wrists. From your high plank, lower down with control all the way to your belly. We'll find a brief belly shavasana, stacking the palms, bringing the right ear to the back. The knees draw in, or the toes draw into touch, heels flop out wide. Good. Let's bring the chin to center and tee out the arms. We'll draw the left hand in towards the left side of the chest. Gently press into the left hand so we come to roll onto our right side. This right here might bring enough sensation into the right pec and the front of the right shoulder. If you want to add on, you can bend the left knee and step the sole of the left foot behind you so the knee points up towards the ceiling. Getting a nice stretch on the front of the chest, be through the bicep. Find that 3-part breath, filling belly, ribs, and chest. And as we open the chest, we're also strengthening those muscles between the shoulder blades, contracting them together, helping us with posture. Good. Slowly come out of it the way you came in. Stack the legs and then roll onto the belly. We'll take that the other way. Tee out the left arm, draw the right hand in towards the right rib. Roll on to the left side. You can stay right here or bend the right knee and step the right foot behind the left leg. Try to squeeze the shoulder blades together, finding some more space in front of the left pec, along the left bicep, maybe all the way down to the left fingertips. Good. Come out the way you came in. Start by restacking the legs, rolling onto the belly. And then we'll draw both hands in and flip over just like a pancake onto your back. So now the head will be at the front of the mat, feet towards the back. You might need to recenter yourself here, and we'll draw a bend to the knees, bringing the heels in towards the glutes. Palms face down by your sides, reach the low back towards the floor, engage the low core. Inhale, bridge pose. Press through the soles of the feet, reach the hips up. Pause here, engage the glutes. Magnetize the inner thighs, shoot the tailbone through the knees. Maybe press the chest towards the chin a little bit higher to open up the upper back. So find another breath in. Exhale, lower down with control. Good. One more round of bridge. Inhale, bridge pose. Option to take a chest expansion, clasping the hands beneath the glutes, rolling onto the triceps, punching into the floor with the fist, puffing up the chest. Squeeze the glutes here, protect the lower back. Take another inhale. Exhale, lower down, undo your bind. Good, we'll draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug here. Rock from side to side. And then we'll find waterfall pose, reaching the feet straight up towards the ceiling. If you'd like to elevate the hips, you can lift the hips and either slide the palms or maybe a prop underneath the hips. If you have a block, it helps to come through bridge, just wedge the block or prop underneath the hips. I'll try it with my pillow. And then we'll just send the legs straight up. So it just keeps the hips a little bit higher than the heart. Finding again that restorative shape. You can widen out the arms here. Bring some slack into the knees and the ankles and toes. Letting the joints stack here. Finding some softness. Good. Slowly bring a bend into the knees. Remove the props. Come back through a small bridge pose just to slide the props out. And again, we'll meet with the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Good. Hold on to the right leg. Extend the left leg long. Inhale, hug the knee up to the right shoulder. Exhale, supine twist on the right. Drape the right leg up and over. Maybe catch a prop to keep the knee at hip height. And scoop the left shoulder towards the left. So both shoulders ground. You can T or cactus out the right arm. If you want a little more chest expansion, lift the elbow, get a little more length and tension in the right pec. So reaching the elbow more towards the top of the mat. Find length on the inhales and depth on the exhales. Good, let's come back through center. Inhale, draw the right knee in. And we'll switch it out for the left. Extend the right leg long. Inhale, hug the left knee up towards the left shoulder. Exhale, supine twist on the left. Drape the leg up and over. Maybe catch a prop. Scoop the right shoulder towards the right to ground the upper back. And then T or cactus out the left elbow. You can slide the left elbow a little higher, opening up the left pec a little bit. Find length on your inhales. Move into space on your exhales. Good, let's draw the left knee back into the chest. Draw the right knee in to meet it. Give the knees a hug. We'll find happy baby. Widen the knees, grab for the outsides of the feet. Reach the tailbone down. Shine the soles of the feet towards the ceiling. You can rock from side to side here. Maybe kick through one heel and then the other. Find a sense of freedom here. Take what movements feel good. And then when you're done in happy baby, find either a fallen bridge or a supine butterfly. Fallen bridge, widen the feet, let the knees collapse in. Or supine butterfly, kiss the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall wide. Wherever you go, let it feel restorative. And we'll bring the left hand to the heart, the right hand to the belly. Soften or close the eyes here. And just notice the natural rhythm of the breath, feeling it move underneath the hands and the torso. Good. On your next inhale, let it fill underneath the left hand, lifting the chest, and then pull it deeper underneath the right hand, lifting the belly. Reverse the order. Exhale, collapse the right hand. And then the left. Inhale, fill chest and then belly. Exhale, empty belly and then chest. Take this rhythm of breath on your own. Trying to make the exhales a little longer than the inhales. Using the breath to calm the internal state. Good. After your next exhale, let the breath return to its natural rhythm. Just become aware once again. Check in with the external. Notice the sounds, the smells, the textures of the cloth or surface. And then check in with the internal. Maybe find something different, some stillness, some warmth. And know that you can always cultivate that internal state. You always have your breath. If staying here feels best for a final Shavasana, you don't have to move at all. If you want to extend the legs out, bringing the palms face up by your sides, let yourself take up space. And a natural curl in the fingertips, let the toes flop out wide. Surrender to gravity here. And I will guide us out when it's time. Start to draw your awareness back in. Begin by noticing the rise and fall of the breath. And start to invite in some movement through the fingers and toes. You can drop either cheek from side to side. Slowly waking up the body. You can take a full body stretch. Grabbing fingertips overhead, pointing the toes forward. With as little effort as possible, draw the knees into the chest one at a time. And we'll fall over to our favorite side. Let the bottom arm support the head, top arm drape over the body. Finding a fetal position, a pose of rebirth from our practice into the rest of our day. How can we use what we've cultivated here off of our mat? Gently press up to a comfortable seat. Press through the bottom hand, straighten out the top leg. You can elevate the hips here on a prop if that feels best. Sit up nice and tall, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. On an inhale, draw the hands around and up, palms meet overhead. Exhale, draw the base of the thumbs to the center of the forehead. And send gratitude to yourself for finding your mat today, cultivating patience and moving with intention. Next, inhale, hands around and up, palms meet overhead. Exhale, draw the base of the thumbs to the lips and send gratitude to those who joined you in community and for making time and space for themselves. And final breath, hands out, around and up. Exhale, draw the base of the thumbs to the heart. Spread the fingertips wide and bow the forehead to the fingertips. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thanks, friends, for joining. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Okay, we had a lot of people join. Thank you.